Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our new chapter, inflation. It is a very important chapter, and we will take maximum lectures of these chapters. Okay, maximum lectures of the point inflation. Inflation is generally very familiar word. We are using the word inflation. Inflation बढ़ रहा है. न्यूज चैनल में हम लोग देखते हैं कि मुद्रास्फीति की दर इतने प्रतिशत बढ़ गई है. सो टुडे वी आर ट्राइंग टू नो व्हाट इज इन्फ्लेशन. इन्फ्लेशन कम्स फ्रॉम द वर्ड इन्फ्लेट. इन्फ्लेट, व्हाट इज इन्फ्लेट? अगर टायर में, बलून में अगर आपको हवा भरना हो तो जो प्रोसेस है उसको बोलते हैं इन्फ्लेट. तो इन्फ्लेट का मतलब क्या है? इन्फ्लेट का मतलब इंक्रीज इन समथिंग, एक्सपांशन ऑफ समथिंग. तो यहां इंक्रीज क्या होगा? जनरल प्राइस लेवल. ओके, सो इन्फ्लेशन डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम द वर्ड इन्फ्लेट, मतलब इंक्रीज इन समथिंग. इंक्रीज क्या होगा? या जनरल प्राइस लेवल. So we will try to understand the concept of inflation with the help of different definitions. First definition by Professor Crowther. I have taken some of the definitions. Crowther define inflation as a state in which the value of money is falling and that is prices are rising. We have discussed earlier there is an inverse relationship between value of money and price level. According to Kammerer, inflation is too much currency in the relation to the physical volume of business being done. Very good definition. Too much currency, increase in money supply. Okay, or very good definition by Colburn. Sometimes it is considered as general definition of inflation. Inflation is a state in which too much money chasing too few goods. टू मच मनी चेजिंग टू फ्यू गुड्स. गुजराती में हम लोग क्या इसको इस्तेमाल करते हैं कि વધુ પડતું નાણું ઓછી વસ્તુને પકડવા દોડે તો એને ફુગાવો કહી શકાય. એવું આપણે યુઝ કરીએ છીએ. સો વોટ ઇઝ ઇન્ફ્લેશન? ટુ મચ મની ड्यू टू इंक्रीज इन सप्लाई ऑफ मनी व्हेन परचेजिंग पावर ऑफ पीपल इंक्रीज. तो उनके हाथ में पैसे ज्यादा है और उसके कंपैरिजन में चीजें कम है. ओके, इट मींस डिमांड इज ग्रेटर देन सप्लाई. एग्रीगेट डिमांड एक्सीड एग्रीगेट सप्लाई. तो क्या होगा? प्राइस लेवल विल ट्रेंड अपवर्ड. दैट इज इन्फ्लेशन. ओके, टू मच मनी चेजिंग टू फ्यू गुड्स. सो ये सारी डेफिनेशन में से हम लोग क्या कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं? व्हाट इज इन्फ्लेशन? सस्टेन्ड राइज इन प्राइस लेवल, नॉट प्राइस फ्लक्चुएशन. आज प्राइस ये हुआ और एक्सेट्रा. सस्टेन्ड राइज इन प्राइस लेवल ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. कुछ वक्त तक अगर प्राइस में प्राइस राइज हो और ये वो प्राइस राइज सस्टेन्ड हो तभी हम उसको इन्फ्लेशन कह सकते हैं. Okay, sustained rise in price level over a period of time, not simply price rise. Sustained rise in price rise. Here, very good definition. Conclusion है persistent and appreciable rise in general price level. What is persistent? The meaning of persistent. Persistent in price level rise मतलब upward trend in price level. Upward trend in price level. We will try an example. Suppose एक प्रोडक्ट है, कोई एक प्रोडक्ट हम लोग ले लेते हैं. पेट्रोल के प्राइसेस है increase decrease like this. But when we draw a trend line, so price बढ़े हैं कम हुए, मगर हम जब ट्रेंड लाइन ड्रॉ करेंगे तो पहले प्राइस यहां थे, अब प्राइस यहां है. So what is this? This is upward trend in price level, persistent rise in price level, sustained rise in price level. Getting my point? That is inflation. And what is appreciable rise in price level? How economist has explained the concept, we will discuss in this chapter in detail. uh, Keynesian views and views of Milton Friedman, etc. कि every economist agree with the view, the common view of most of the economists or all the economists, that some amount of inflation is essential. It is very good for the health of economy. In the words of Professor Arthur Lewis, it is functional price lights जो इकोनॉमी को प्रॉपर फंक्शनिंग में हेल्प करेगा. What is this? This is functional price level. About 3% of inflation, 2 to 3% of inflation is necessary. It is essential for the development, for functioning of economy. Magar, if inflation goes beyond this level, 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, then it is considered as appreciable price rise in general price level. The word general price level is very important. When price of particular product or goods, product or service increase, or some product increase, or some product, कुछ product के price increase होते हैं, कुछ product के price fall होते हैं, वो नहीं. If general price level rise, sustained rise in general price level, then it is called inflation. Okay. So what is the conclusion? Due to rise in money supply, purchasing power, money income of people increase, their purchasing power increases, they go to market for and demanding more and more goods and services. But so far as demand for goods and services increase, supply of goods and services cannot be increased in the same proportion, so price level rises. That is known as inflation. Okay. So आपको याद क्या रखना है? 2 point. Sustained rise in general price level over a period of time. And second word, persistent and appreciable rise in general price level. That is inflation. Okay. Got? Now, next is semi-inflation and full inflation. Semi-inflation and full inflation. Professor Keynes has distinguished the concept of semi-inflation and full inflation in his book General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in 1936. According to him, the full inflation or true inflation or the real inflation can occur only after full employment. फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट के पहले फुल इन्फ्लेशन और ट्रू इन्फ्लेशन अकर नहीं हो सकता, अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम. हाउ ही एक्सप्लेन कि सो लॉन्ग एज और एज लॉन्ग एज इकोनॉमी में अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, इकोनॉमी इज ऑपरेटिंग एट लेस देन फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेवल, क्या होगा? इंक्रीज इन सप्लाई ऑफ मनी एम will not fully reflected in increasing in price level. It will partly reflected in rising in price level and partly reflected in utilization of unemployed resources. That's why it is known as partial inflation. ये बात समझ में? जितना सप्लाई ऑफ मनी बढ़ेगा उतने प्रपोर्शन में प्राइस लेवल नहीं बढ़ेगी. It will partly reflected in rising in price level and partly reflected in utilization of the resources. Unemployed. So supply of money rises, investment increases, output increases, employment increases, income increasing, and then price level increases. So it has passed through this procedure. Okay. So rise and rise. तो direct relationship हो सकता है. It means 10% rise in supply of money may be reflected in 4% rise in price level. 4% rise in price level. 10% increase in price level will not increase 10% increase in price level. Why? Because supply of money, 10% rise in supply of money will not reflect in 10% rise in price level, because ये इतनी प्रोसीजर में उसको पास होना है. Employee investment increase, employment increases, income increases, consumption increases, etc. We will discuss this topic in detail बाद में जब चैप्टर पढ़ेंगे. मगर यहां इतना समझो कि so long as or as long as economy is not operating, so this is the point. Yeah? X axis represents quantity of money, y axis represents employment and price. This is the full employment point F, where economy reaches at full employment level, indicating. So ये जो लाइन है वो स्ट्रेट नहीं है. वो क्या इंडिकेट कर रहा है कि increase in supply of money will partly reflected in increasing price level and partly reflecting in employing of unemployed resources. उसमें यूज हो रहा है. But once economy achieve full employment level, अभी all the resources are utilized, all the resources are employed. So rise in supply of money will fully reflected in rising price level. जितने प्रतिशत सप्लाई ऑफ मनी बढ़ेगा उतने ही प्रतिशत में प्राइस लेवल बढ़ेगी. ओके, सो फिशर का वो conclusion, there is direct and proportionate relationship between supply of money and price level. Supply of money rises by 10%, price will also rise by 10%. और फिशर में हम लोगों ने एक अजम्पशन की है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट अजम्पशन. अजम्पशन क्या थी? इकोनॉमी इज ऑपरेटिंग एट फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेवल. क्योंकि सप्लाई ऑफ मनी और प्राइस लेवल का डायरेक्ट एंड प्रोपोर्शनेट रिलेशनशिप तभी मुमकिन है जब सप्लाई फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट होगा. अदरवाइज direct relationship is possible, but direct and proportionate relationship is not possible. So I'm trying to explain. So beyond this level, you can say that the supply curve, quantity of money or money supply curve becomes vertical straight line. Okay, it means here now there is no further scope of increasing employment में कोई स्कोप नहीं. दिस इज द लाइन ऑफ फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेवल. सो द कर्व बिकम्स वर्टिकल स्ट्रेट लाइन, मीन्स इंक्रीज इन सप्लाई विल डायरेक्टली इंक्रीज इन द प्राइस लेवल. सो व्हाट इज द कंक्लूजन? फुल इन्फ्लेशन और रियल इन्फ्लेशन कैन अकर ओनली आफ्टर full employment situation. Before full employment, partial inflation or semi inflation. After full employment, full inflation or true inflation. Okay, so this is the difference between full inflation and partial inflation, semi inflation and full inflation. So today what we discuss, what is inflation? Inflation comes from the word inflate, increasing something, rising something. यहाँ क्या rise होगा? Price. Or what is inflation? Sustained rise in price over a period of time. Persistent and appreciable rise in general price level. Full inflation, according to Professor Keynes, full inflation can occur only after full employment level. So long as economy is in unemployment situation, there may be partial inflation or semi. So आज के दिन इतना रहेगा. Thank you very much. This is an introductory lecture for inflation. Thank you very much.